Good morning, Panther fans. What you drinking, Stu? Stu doesn't look happy this morning at all. Stu looks like when you were 19 years old and you went on a long bender, and it's about 7 in the morning, and your ass got to get to work in about 2 hours. That's how Stu looks right about now. Go ahead, bud. What you got for me? You look locked and loaded and ready to go. I had plenty to say last night on the stream in the recap, so have at it.
Fire away.
Fire away.
This team is draining, man. I just, well, it's like what I said the other day. And Tampa, of all teams, they embarrassed us. 4 power plays in a row that you get in Tampa, which is like extremely rare for us, and nothing, like no shots. Yeah, I think that what it's coming down for me is just like a lack of passion. By the way, shout out to Frank, my man. Little pre-video texting that we did, but
Gotcha.
yeah, I mean, we could dissect this game. I mean, it just comes down to where's the fire in this team?
Right.
It's Jekyll and Hyde.
Right.
We see it some nights, and we don't see it other nights, and that's the story of this season. I mean, this is just,
Right.
what Panther team is going to show up on any given night. Now, I'm expecting them to come out against Seattle and kick ass. But Tampa has our number, especially in Tampa.
Yeah.
But you get 4 power plays in a row. I mean, gift from the gods, and you don't score on one. That's the game. I mean, as soon as the third period started, I said it's just a matter of time. And as I told you, it comes down to 4 players: Kucherov, Point, Stamkos, and Hedman. And now I put a fifth guy in there, Nick Paul, who I'm really impressed with. I really like that guy.
Yeah.
But Kucherov is the man that everything goes through him with Tampa.
And don't leave out Pat Maroon, bro, because every game, I don't care who, what, how, that son of a gun is wide open in front of the net. And
there's a reason for that.
I'm listening.
Guys they're not covering their men.
Right. Well, yeah.
Forget about the defenseman. Where was the forward on that?
No, you're exactly right. Right. We've been saying that since preseason. We've been saying that all year.
You didn't have a lot of that last year. Right.
No, the forwards are not getting back. It's a shame too, because there's some disagreement, or at least there's one person disagreeing in the comments from yesterday's video. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I thought I watched Bobrovsky play pretty well yesterday, and the majority of those goals were not on him. I mean, the last goal was a 2-on-0.
Yeah, no, Bob played pretty good last night. He always gets up for games against Vasilevsky.
Right.
I think he doesn't want to hear 90% accolades to Vasilevsky, so he tries to balance out that scale. But no, Bob, I don't put the fault of that game on Bob last night.
No, I mean
I give a lot of blame to Aaron Ekblad. I mean, we can spend another 5 minutes talking about how pretty much, as far as I'm concerned, he's done.
He's got to. I'm hoping that he's hurt, because if he's not hurt, what the hell is going on with his movement? He's got to still be hurt. He had to have come back too early. We've learned that before. We've learned our lesson. How many times have we said, what the hell's wrong with Barkov? And then after the season, it's like, well, it was this, it was that. Ekblad's got to still be hurt.
I told you.
I mean, he's 26. You can't just decline that fast, that I mean, he's not 30, he's 26.
Yeah.
And I know he's had a lot of injuries, but until I hear differently, I can't believe that he's declined that much. He's got to still be hurt.
I told you with groin injuries,
Right.
they're really tricky. 1 minute you think you're back to normal.
Sure.
And it just takes a little turn the wrong way or a little,
Right.
digging the ice the wrong way to,
Right. And that's exactly how he's playing. It's like he's protecting those exact two things, with the turning and the digging into the ice.
yeah.
So
Like I said, Frank and I were texting before, and I just said, it pains me to say this because, there was a time when he was my favorite player.
right.
That mantle now belongs to two players. I split them equally: Anton Lundell and Matthew Tkachuk. Still,
Yeah.
I don't know who's got 51% of that, but yeah, I mean, we can unload his contract. I mean, Panther fans, listen. I wish I wasn't saying this because I want Norris Trophy Aaron Ekblad playing for us, but we're not getting that.
Right.
And you know what? He's still in the prime of his career age-wise. Okay, his $7.5 million. I think he's got maybe 2 years left on his deal.
To your point. To your point, there's something I was thinking about, and I was just thinking it, guys. Okay, I'm just looking for things to talk about, but I thought about it last night, and I'm just curious in the comments, based on everything that we've seen. What if instead of Huberdeau and Weegar, it would have been Barkov and Ekblad? What do you guys say about that? I don't know. Probably not.
That deal don't get done.
Probably Huberdeau and Ekblad would have in hindsight.
We got rid of Huberdeau and Weegar because of the content,
because of the money
situation. I mean, we got a great player for it, but listen, we have no first round picks. I don't even know how many second rounds picks we have for the next 5 years. That's one thing that Zito, for all the great moves that he made. I mean, the Giroux thing, the Sherratt thing. Yeah. Well, we rolled the dice. He rolled the dice. And it came up craps.
I don't mind the Giroux, even though we paid a lot. I don't mind the Giroux. The Sherratt, really, that was highly, highly unnecessary. That was not necessary. But we liked it. We all thought, hey, reinforcements.
Yeah, final puzzle pieces. I mean,
But Stu, the more I'm looking at this team, and you said it, the passion, and I thought about it last night. I don't know if you saw the recap. But halfway through that game, when I was watching Colin White get worked along the boards during the power play, it just hit me like upside the head. What this team misses is Mason Marchment. That's the move that we should have said, okay, who has to go so we can sign this kid? Because the style of play that Maurice is trying to implement, like it or not, that's the dude we should have kept, was Mason Marchment.
Yeah.
We're hurting there. Colin White and Luosterainen's a nice player, but he's not going to go do what Marchment does along the boards.
Colin White and Cousins are two guys that, we picked up to quote unquote replace Marchment. The main thing for me with Marchment was having him stay healthy.
Right.
Because I always worry for that next head hit.
Right.
And that's just, listen, getting back to my Ekblad scenario, whatever I'm thinking, the main thing with him is how many injuries he's had in his career.
Right.
And in his young career. I mean, he's been around a while, but like you said, he's 26 years old.
Right.
So, again, you got $7.5 million. I trade him for a younger, stronger, faster, tougher defenseman. Who that defenseman might be, I don't know.
Right.
And then we should get a first round pick in return.
Well, remember, he's got a no move clause.
Yeah, well, that's
so. Hornquist, no move clause. Ekblad, no move clause. Not that we would want to trade Barkov, but I mean, if no move clause. We had to give these guys all no move clauses. So that Zudo is hamstrung a little bit by that.
Yeah, Dale Talon, man. Like I
You
said,
know.
he should have been gone 2 or 3 years before they finally let him go.
Well, look, I'm going to defend him a little
Hugstad,
bit.
Bolin,
Yeah.
Matheson. Can't blame him on the Yandel thing. That was
Right.
The name we don't mention.
Exactly.
But the Bob.
Ah,
I mean,
Bob.
you just look
I
at
know.
those four.
But we do have to remember, especially like even at the edge of where Ekblad's contract was being signed, you know, we're just now a destination. You know what I mean? For quite some time, the only way we were going to get guys to sign here long term is you better not trade me. You know what I mean? And you can't really blame the players for asking for that. Example, look at Jonathan Huberdeau, right? I'm sure he wishes he had a no move clause. The one guy that didn't get it got shipped out.
Yeah.
So,
but listen, I do that. I sign that deal every day of the week because
right.
when it was signed, Ekblad was still,
Yeah.
the third year, and
Yeah.
it was only up. It was only upwards.
Yeah.
But his game is going downhill.
But here's the thing. Defense, last night really wasn't. I don't know what happened in the last goal. I don't know if that was Ekblad or Colin White that lost the puck at center ice or lost their man at center ice. Was it 5? Because I tried desperately to watch the replay. But if it looked like it was moving like Ekblad, but I couldn't. With the reverse jerseys, with the reverse retros, it's the colors. I have a hard time seeing it because I'm colorblind.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Ekblad.
But
it would
look,
be your typical. Listen, it's him and Yandel were really good friends. Yandel rubbed off on him a lot.
Yeah.
In the worst ways.
But look, man, you hit on it with the passion.
Yeah, like you said. We do these videos game after game, and a lot of what we say it's redundant, and we need to come up with some fresh material. So listen, guys, I'm just throwing it out there, as a lot of you guys do. Maurice, I'm still, I'm still not convinced he's the coach for us.
Well,
because
okay.
of the passion and the will and the you got a guy like Tortorella, for all his faults. If he had the talent, or I should say, when he's had the talent, his teams have done really well. He doesn't let the team, the guys.
Right.
Complacency is not the right word. Passive.
Right. Look, let's look at this over the course of the franchise. We get to the Stanley Cup Finals, 96. We start off the next season. We're the hottest team in the league, literally most points in the league. And the management, GM, owner, whoever decided, you know what? We need to get bigger if we're going to win. We had just swept through Philly, Boston, and Pittsburgh, but we need to change because we didn't win it all. And we traded Stu Barnes, Jason Woolley for Chris Wells, blew it up. We sucked. Fast forward, we make the playoffs with Gallant. We give the Islanders as close to as much as they could handle. We definitely looked like we were on the upswing.
No. We got robbed in that.
Well, let's play along. That's not the point. Either way, we played a hell of a good series. Huberdeau gets hurt. 22 games into the season, we're almost in the same spot we are now, like almost in, almost out of the playoffs. And between the offseason of hell, between getting rid of Kulikov, Gabranson, we blow up the defense. We're going to go all analytics. We do the whole Yandel thing, and then we fire Gallant, and we completely change. We didn't win it all, so we have to change it all. And we did it again. We did it again this last year. And the same thing is happening now that happened after that 16, after the year with the man that we will not speak of, which is it's Franken team. We've got all these guys that can play run and gun style, but we plug in this coach who wants to play a grinding style. The one guy we had that can play that style, we lose him in Marchment. We get Kachuk back, but like somebody said on the stream last night, who's the guys in the top 6 that are going to play this grinding style? For Hagee, Barkov, I mean Bennett, Kachuk.
Reinhardt,
okay, yeah, Reinhardt. No, I mean we don't have that personnel. So the more I watch this reminds me of Bugner's team that got 96 points and didn't get in. But remember, that team had a hell of a run towards the end of the season to make it close. And it's absolute Franken team. And I don't know where we go at this point, because I think right now this is what we've got. It boils down to exactly what you said with the passion part, because the two games that we really needed to be up for was that Calgary game and this game yesterday. And they just laid down. We played an outstanding first 8 minutes yesterday. We had 7 shots in the first 10 minutes. And then the rest of the game, we just, whatever shots we did get was into Vasilevsky's belly. And Tampa doing the blocking shots thing. And they just completely own us, man.
Yeah. Well, you throw the kitchen sink at Vasilevsky and he stops everything, you're going to be dejected. I mean, there was one I can't remember exactly when it was in the second period. I saw the shots were 25-12.
Right.
Now, when have you seen a Panther game this year? It's usually the other way around.
Exactly.
Can't score unless you shoot. The only goal that we got was a fluke.
Yeah.
It's not like Verhaeghe beat Vasilevsky, top
right.
shelf. I mean, Dompey throws it in, a miracle throw in front, and it bounces
right.
off Sergachev. Okay.
Yeah.
But, again, that game was lost. 4 power plays, and they didn't even look. The power plays were so jumbled.
Yes.
I can't use any other word. I mean, just no cohesion. No, just again. We've had power plays where they're just throwing it around and
right.
getting defensive off, and we score. A game last week. What did we do? We had three power play goals in one game.
Right.
That was just the overview of that game, was all about just inefficiency on the power play. Tampa has Tampa has our number in Tampa. Just,
yeah.
They just historically have
right.
just taken it to us. And it's always the same guys. I was just waiting for Braden Point or Kucherov to get one.
Yep.
It's kind of a miracle that we went so deep into the third period. Before, I expected a goal, a minute into the third period.
Yeah, yeah. Right.
And look at Tampa's power play.
But they pretty much have their same complement of guys out there. They're not blaming it completely on the Panthers personnel. There's something wrong. There's something missing. There's something wrong. You can't look at the last 5 games. We've won 3, we've lost 2. The 3 wins are 5-1 wins. The 2 losses is what? Calgary was 6-2, right? And then 4-1. So we're either blowing people out or getting blown out. And there's some dysfunction there. There's something not right. And it's I see so many people arguing about it. It's so stupid to argue about this because it's everything. Now, last night, It wasn't Bob. I'm sorry. I
Nope.
mean, the first goal, Maroon's like standing right there in front. I mean, there's no time for Bob to react.
Yeah, it's a bang
Okay,
bang on
right.
the stick, off the stick, in the net.
No goalie stopping that unless the dude shoots it into the goalie. And then the one that got called back that people think should have been called back. What a disaster! I mean, I knew it as soon as they said they were going to replay, and I saw the replay. I'm like, they're going to say Ekblad pushed the dude into Bob, and what happens after that is judgment.
No other Panther was around to help out.
Right. Well, Ekblad should have just dropped his stick and tried to get in front, but I'm not going to blame that all on him. It was just a fluke crap play. It was almost as fluky of a goal as the one goal that we managed to get. And then the fourth goal, it's a 2-1 none.
Yeah.
And I got people saying that it's somehow Bob's fault. It's like 2-1 none. What do you want the goalie to do? What he's supposed to do? Split himself in half?
Yeah, we would have done that with, if it was, let's just say, Barkov and Reinhardt, most probably.
Right.
Barkov has the goal already. It's done,
Yeah.
and he passes it up, which he did on a 2-on-1 with him and Colin White.
Yeah.
Barkov had a chance to snap a shot, and he passed it. And
Right. Right.
Colin White was on his left side, and Colin White's a righty. That's an ill-advised pass.
Yeah,
So,
it's and that's the other thing is
something's going on, and I don't see this. I don't see it being fixed, and I don't expect Duclair to come in as the savior and save the season. It's not going to happen.
no, it's systemic.
That's the word. That's the word. It's systemic.
Right.
From the top down.
Yeah.
Again, there's really no, aside from the Bennett, Verhage, and Kachuk line. There's no cohesion. It might be time to go back to Verhage and Kachuk with Barkov, because right now Barkov's ineffective.
Right. Yeah. They're gonna have. I think they said Lundell might play today. So if we get Lundell back, I think we need to settle it down back with Barkov, Bennett, Lundell. I mean, look, our third line last night was Stahl with Cousins and, geez, who else was it? Well, it was Stahl with Cousins. I forget who else it was. Wasn't Luosterainen.
Dalpe?
No, I think Dalpe's on the fourth line.
On Dalpe's goal, Cousins and Stahl. I remember the Selly.
Right.
It was Cousins and Stahl.
The point is that we got Stahl at 3C because of injuries. I don't know, man.
That's another thing, Eric. We're not rolling 4 lines anymore.
I know.
It's basically 3 lines, and fatigue. Especially towards the end of the game.
Right.
Listen, I expect the Panthers to come out and win today. I'll just say it right there. I expect them to come out and win. I expect Dr. Jekyll. Dr. Jekyll would be.
Which one is the good one? Which one is the one where we win? Dr. Jekyll?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
well, we might see Spencer Knight today, too. They said yesterday both might be Lundell, might see Spencer Knight.
It doesn't matter. We need a team. This is a team game.
Right.
One guy does not make a difference. That's why,
unless it's 3.8 seconds, then one guy can make a difference.
I just shook my head, that interview, that post-game interview with Maurice, when he said, what does this team need and whatever, and he said Barkov.
Yeah.
I don't like this coach.
No, he doesn't get it.
I don't like this coach, man. And of course, it's still early in the season and whatnot, blah blah blah. But it's tough for a GM, to look in the mirror and say, I made a mistake,
right?
And to change it.
There's only one change worth making right now, and that is if you call, well, I guess 2. If you call Barry Trotz and he says, yeah, sure, or if you call Bettman and he says, "All right, well, Q's got to come talk to me." You know what I mean? Those are the only two changes that would be worth making.
Okay. All right.
But
So
but
listen.
but
Okay. Let me throw this at you. Okay. So hypothetically,
right,
I don't know so much about the Q situation. I personally don't think he's coming back.
right, yeah,
Still too fresh. But
yeah.
let's just say Barry Trotz says, "Okay, now what?"
Now what?
Yeah. What does Trotz do to right the ship? You're Barry Trotz, Eric.
Right now,
Yeah. What do you do? Like you come in first day, whatever. Do you just blow everything up?
the first day, the first.
What do you do? Because Trotz is, he's all about defense.
Honestly, the first thing that I do is I tell Patrick Hornquist, if we make the playoffs, you can come back. Otherwise, you don't play anymore. You're on LTIR the rest of the season.
Well,
Um,
that's Zito more than Trotz. Or
then I'm going to, because if you're having a coaching change in the middle of this season, you're not throwing it away, but you're not expecting to win the cup either. At that point, I am waving, sending however many um, stall, stall. I want to bring up kids. That's the point. I want to bring up some of these kids from the AHL. Let's start seeing what we got. Infuse some new, fresh, young blood, some guys that might have a little bit more speed because this team is slow out there. All right. And
total 180 from last year.
right.
The
And
fastest
see,
team. How many goals they used that stat? Goals off the rush.
right. Right. So
Go ahead. So what are you
youth.
saying?
Youth,
Kierstead and Carlson?
Kiersted, Carlson. I want to see Hutsko. I want to see what he can do. Okay, I like Dalpe, but he's an older. He's an older guy. I like Tierney, but he's an older guy. Why are we? You're asking me. In that situation, I would just be throwing every possible, even close to ready AHL player out there in place of some of these guys that we know are not going to be pieces to any kind of a real championship run, and let's see who swims and who sinks. And then you go into next year, and maybe you've got 1, 2, 3 of these kids that are going to work out, whatever the number is. You've got cap space, and you start filling in the gaps there. Because, I mean, look, Heponiemi gets what, a few games? You know what I mean? I mean, most kids aren't going to show everything they can do in, a 3-game, 5-game stint where they know they're going back.
And they're
You know
only
what I
getting a
mean?
couple of minutes a game.
And they're only getting 8 minutes a game, right?
Because quite frankly, Miami's done diddly squat.
Right. Yeah. No. I mean, he hasn't looked bad, but the point is that if you're throwing the season away, that's when you bring your guys up and you give them 30, 40, 50 games, and let's see, how you look between the first 10 games to the last 10 games. You know what I mean? Give them some time to develop and see how they look. And then you go into the off season, right? I mean, look at Luosterainen. Okay? I mean, we got him in the Trocheck trade. He was just an AHL nobody, right? So you gotta start seeing some of these kids and who's gonna develop into what. Right? So that's what I would do. That's what I would do. And if you want to talk about exploring trades, I'm Trotz. If Ekblad's still hurt, I'm not going to try to trade him. I want to see if he can. If Ekblad's still hurt and I'm the coach today, Ekblad LTIR, you're done. We'll see you next year. Go rest. Okay. If he's not hurt, and this is the new Ekblad, I call up whoever wants it for a bucket of bolts, however many draft picks, whatever you guys are going to give us, because he's got a no move clause. Because if he can't get better than he is now, he's a liability out there. So boom, that's what I do. And I also make Lundell 2C. I make Lundell 2C over Bennett because of the face-off percentage. Bennett is getting absolutely slaughtered in the face-off percentages. Now I'm not sure where Lundell is, but he has improved from last season. He's the eventual 2C. I make him 2C.
I mean, Lundell is when he's healthy and he's
Right.
better all-around player than Bennett.
Right.
Again, well, we all kind of know that Lundell is like, Barkov Jr.
Right.
I don't like Baby Barkov. I just don't like that moniker. I like, Barkov 2.0 or Barkov Jr.
Right.
whatever. But
Right.
that,
And I
that,
extend
that,
Gudis, I extend Mahura, and I figure my brain of Forsling, Montour, Mahura, Gudis. I need 2 more now, depending on if Aaron Ekblad is really hurt or healthy or what.
Kierstead.
Kierstead.
And that's why I say if Zito can find another Forsling Mahura guy, but
Right.
those guys are more, slick skating, just solid guy. We need another Gudis on defense.
Yeah, I won't disagree with you.
We
Somebody had brought up.
we need another bad MFer on
Yeah.
defense. A
Some
younger version of Gudis.
Somebody had brought up in one of the previous videos John Ludwig, who was one of our bigger defensive prospects. But when I looked, somebody correct me: is he playing somewhere else? Because the stats I saw, he's only played like 8 games last year, 3 this year, or something like. He's like, is he just permanently hurt, or what's going on with that dude? If anybody knows what's going on with him,
Yeah,
fill
some
me
of
in,
the players that we had, like that kid Brown, 6'5". I liked what I saw at development camp and training camp. He's gone.
Right, right.
A lot of the prospects that we drafted that had promise, Cyril Noel.
Sharon Noel, yeah.
Yeah, he's gone.
Right, right,
He don't play.
right, right.
So that's another thing, man. We historically have not drafted well.
No, 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 and that's where Zito comes in because he keeps picking these guys up. I mean, for the age they are with Forsling and especially Mahura, it's almost like we drafted them and developed them,
Right.
and now you know what I mean.
Yep.
So if we can get guys that way, we're good. But yeah, man, that's kind of where I'm starting to think is that like, where's like you're saying, you don't think Duclair is going to come back and save this team. It's like where's what's going to make us better? You see what I'm saying?
Not this
I
year.
mean, not the only thing we can say is, well, we have cap space next year, right? And just, I mean, hindsight's 2020, and we were both on the fence, but it's just like hindsight. In hindsight, it's like we should have found a way to keep Mason Marchment.
Yeah.
We should have found a way. If this is
we
this,
lost Mammon too because
oh yeah,
he
yeah,
wasn't
good,
he wasn't playing. He was a spark plug.
yeah, good point. I wonder if he
that
wanted
kid
to.
that kid was great in the corners. He couldn't finish.
Right.
That was my
Yeah.
only knock on him when he had the chances to bury it. He didn't.
Right.
But other than that, I like the kid's play, but he left because he wasn't playing.
Yeah.
Imagine now. I mean, again, hindsight's 2020.
Right. Yeah. Good point.
He'd be playing.
Right. Good point.
I'd rather have Mammon in there than Lombard.
Well, I'd rather have Mammon than Colin White. I mean.
Oh yeah.
Right.
The Colin White and the Cousins.
It ain't working.
That's a bust.
None of them have worked. Balsers is gone.
Yeah.
Colin White.
Was that the kid to get rid of?
Right. Well, he's on LTIR now. I think he got hit. But, I mean, Colin White's got some goals.
Big deal.
But
Big deal.
Yeah, I know.
Game after game, to me, he's done nothing. He's a bust. Cousins is a bust. Eric Stahl, listen, for an almost 40-year-old player, he's not playing bad.
No, I know.
And again, Mark Stahl is not playing bad.
No.
But I don't want not playing bad. I want playing great or right underneath playing great.
Yeah, and just, I mean, you said it, and that's the last thing. I mean, maybe we're seeing a little bit of, because Hornquist is out, but just no fire. Just no fire. Just no passion with these guys on a consistent basis.
We heard that that game that they had Hornquist mic'd up and he didn't shut up from the start of the game.
Right.
They had him like on the bench. I would have liked to have had somebody mic'd up yesterday and heard the chatter on the bench.
Yeah.
I should, like that would be, something for me to ask Randy,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I don't see anybody on that bench, including our captain, standing up and firing everybody up.
Right.
It just
No.
seems like, there was one pan of the bench when we were down, 2 goals in the third, and there was still 10 minutes left. There were a lot of dejected faces on that bench. Like,
Right.
we're done.
Yeah. Yeah. Just the same way we ended that road trip in Canada. It was like, oh, we're done. You could see it. And I just wonder, we don't know. We don't know what goes on behind the scenes. Um, we conspiracy theory alert, but the way that this team's body language has been getting when we're getting down like that makes me wonder if some of the players went to Maurice and said, hey, can we open things up a little bit offensively? And he said no. That's it. I get the sense that when they feel like last year, the complete opposite. When we were down, it was like, whatever. What is it? 3-1? What? You think we're gonna lose this game? Give me a break, right?
Yeah.
Watch this. You know.
How many games did we get 1 or 2 goals? Like,
What was it? 29 comebacks last year.
In a minute, we had 2 goals.
Right.
Tied
Right.
the game or whatever.
And they look like when it gets to 3-1, the team looks like they know they don't either have the firepower, the ability, the system. They know they're done. And it's just a complete 180 from last year. And I'm not convinced it's all personnel. It's a mixture of everything. And I didn't see the question. I had to go back, but I saw it on Twitter at the very end of the night last night. Apparently, Colby guy.
Just
I
gonna
guess.
bring that up to you.
Yeah. Go ahead. If you saw it, go ahead.
No, I mean the question. He asked Maurice about consistency and whatnot, and Maurice said, "What are you talking about? We've been consistent." I mean, that kind of says it all.
Wow.
Don't like this coach.
Wow. I got to lower the hat for that one. He really
Yep.
said that, huh?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to.
It's
I'll
like
have to check
it's like
that
the
out.
Barkov comment.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been consistent. Win 1, lose 1, win 2, lose 3.
Yeah, we have
Win
not
2,
won. We have
win
not won 3 in a row.
lose 2.
Just
Yeah.
think about this. We started off last year 12 in a row. We were going to set the record. Of course,
Yeah.
Seattle came in and
Yeah.
beat our ass that game.
Yeah.
But then we had another 12-game winning streak.
Right.
We haven't won 3 in a row all year, and we're already in mid-December.
Yep. Yep. And somehow we're still within a playoff spot.
No, forget
Not in,
it.
but I'm just saying.
Yeah, technicalities.
Right.
By the
Right.
by the end of the month, we could be 12 points out.
That's a bit much. Not of the 8th spot.
I
Not
don't
of the
know.
8th spot.
There's no quick fix. There's a lot of holes to be filled.
Right.
Last year, we both thought all it would take would be 1 or maybe 2 pieces to fill that puzzle.
Right.
I mean, if you all didn't think we were winning the cup last year, I mean, the way we were playing,
Right.
last year was it. And it's like, this is the letdown.
Well,
It's not like this. It's boom from last year.
We do it
And
to
the
ourselves.
announcers, not obviously last night because it was Bally's, but the game before that, they were talking about not last year's Tampa series, but the year before,
The year before.
where we really had a shot. We really had a shot
Yeah.
to beat Tampa,
Right.
and these guys said we probably would have won the cup
Wow.
2 years
2 years ago. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
We had no goaltending at that point. There
oh,
was
we haven't even talked about that. I mean, again, there's been plenty of games we can blame the goalies, and I put Spencer Knight in there too because
right.
there's been games when he has not looked like
Yeah.
the Spencer
Right.
Knight that we know and love.
Right. Right.
And again, that's to me, a lot of it's mental. But yeah, that's another big problem. We don't have consistent Maurice. We don't have consistency in goal. We don't have a Vasilevsky. What did I say to you?
Yeah.
I sent you a text early in the game. Vasilevsky. When was the last time you saw a goalie other than Vasilevsky play against us? I can't even remember. But Cooper throws Vasilevsky out there 95% of the time.
Right.
And 95% of the time,
Yeah.
he shows you why he's the best goalie out there.
Yep.
We don't have that. And
Right.
when you're never going to win a Stanley Cup without having a goalie like Vasilevsky.
Yeah.
The Lightning know that they're in every game because of that
Right.
guy.
Right.
So that's it.
All right. That's it. We got to do this again today.
Yeah.
Kyle and I will be ready. We will be streaming at 5:30. Panther game starts at 6. Sometime during the third period, the Dolphin game is going to start. We will be streaming both games at the same time, provided it is still a game. Now, if it's 5-1 Seattle, it's likely I may not split screen. I may just go right to the Dolphin game. But let's hope that doesn't happen.
Well, like I said, I think we're going to see a different team. I would tell you the first 10 minutes of the game is going to be the game. And I just have a feeling we're gonna be up, by 2 goals in the first period. We're gonna come out with a lot of shots. Again, it's Seattle. It's not Tampa.
Right.
And we're home.
Yeah.
And we have to make up for a very poor showing yesterday. So
Right.
I'm thinking, 4-2.
All right. I hope you're right. I hope we need Lundell back if we're going to be winning games.
Yep.
All right. We appreciate all the support. Make sure you hit the like button, hit that subscribe button. I'm going to take a nap. I'm going to go to the grocery store and I'm going to take a nap because it's going to be about a 6 or 7 hour stream depending on how things go. So appreciate all the support and we will see you again real soon.